pet peeves. We all have them. And especially being a booktuber, we all have them with books. Hey guys, so today's video is obviously going to be about bookish pet peeves, which are basically things that are just annoying or you don't like about books. And I've seen this video before on BookTube, and I wanted to do it because it seemed really interesting. And I have some pet peeves of my own about books because, books aren't always like perfect and amazing. So, yeah. And I'm going to be reading them off my phone, so yeah. One of my biggest pet peeves in books is when authors. Ooh, geez. One of my biggest pet peeves in books is when authors use the quote, "I let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding." Like, no, like, how do you not know you're holding your breath? Like, my brain just doesn't understand that. Like, I just think that's weird. Like, do you remember how to breathe? Like, seriously, I just don't get that. Also, when authors continue a series after it's already been established that it's over, a great example of this is the Selection Trilogy by Kara Cass, which personally I've never read and I don't really want to. But originally it was going to be a trilogy and now there's going to be 5 books, which I think is kind of dumb. Like, it's already finished. Why add more on? Like, that's just weird. I hate it when authors make chapters in books way too long and then you kind of lose interest and then you have to like go back and then reread what you were reading because the chapter is too long and you just lose interest. For me anyway, that happens sometimes. A perfect example of a book that exhibits this was the His Dark Materials series by Philip Pullman, the first book of which is The Golden Compass. I found the chapters were pretty much all like 20 to 30 pages long, which I think personally that's a little bit too long, and sometimes it would get kind of dragging on. So that's like shorten the chapters a little bit. This isn't really a pet peeve with like books themselves, but like about books kind of. I hate that hardcovers are like so expensive sometimes. Like, usually they're like $18, which I mean, it's not that expensive, but I mean, paperbacks are usually 10. So that's kind of weird. Like, you can get 2 paperbacks for the price of 1 hardcover, which is kind of stupid, but I understand. But some hardcovers are really ridiculously priced, like 25 and above dollars. And sometimes they're not even that big. So, yeah. And I've even seen this in paperbacks too. Like, some books are just ridiculously overpriced. Like, for example, The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. While this was a good, interesting book, this is a paperback, and although it's really nice, it was like $15, which is not really that worth it because look how short it is. Like, come on, people. Another issue I have with hardcover books is that they release them before paperbacks, which I kind of understand why they do it, but I wish they kind of released hardcovers and paperbacks at the same time, kind of. So, like, whoever prefers which could, like, choose instead of, like, having to buy a hardcover if it's a really new book. I just don't like that. Like, it's not that I hate hardcovers, it's just I prefer paperbacks better because they're easier and they cost less. I don't know. I wish kind of that publishers just released hardcover and paperback at the same time. I have a pet peeve with some book covers that have people on it, especially people with like close-ups. Like, not that I don't like them. Like, some of them I do like with like people on it if you make it look cool, but if it looks really weird, then no, I don't. It's just like like if it looks cheesy. Like I find this especially in romance novels, even though I don't read those, obviously. Um, but some book covers are just kind of like cheesy when a person's on it. It's like, no. I do not like when books slash series have a cover change when they don't even need it in the first place. Like, the cover is really cool, and then they change it. Like, what is the purpose of that? I just don't understand. Especially if the new cover is really ugly. An example of this is the Fire and Flood series by Victoria Scott. The first book, it has a really cool cover with like the feather and the cool font and the black background. It just looks so cool. Kind of plain, but cool. And then they changed it in the American version for the paperback, and it's so weird. Like, they kept the font the same, but like, it's the new cover is like a scenery landscape with like a pair of eyes on it, like real close up. Like, first of all, back up because no. And second of all, like, why did you have to change it? And like, I mean, I guess the covers aren't horrible, but I just like the original better. And like, they didn't change it in the UK cover edition. So why would the US change it? I absolutely despise love triangles in books. And I think I've said this before on my channel, but I don't like love triangles. I personally think they're stupid. It just creates useless drama. I don't like them. The only love triangles I like, there's like, I made a top 5 Wednesday video like way back about my favorite love triangles. There's only about like 4 or 5 that I actually like. But personally, love triangles, I think, are completely pointless and just overly dramatic and serve no purpose. Relating to the love triangle thing, I also hate when romances, like a regular romance, is like angsty. And this is especially in like YA. Like, romance, if done right, is actually enjoyable. But most of the time, I don't really like some of the romances because they're either not strong enough or they're too angsty. Just, no, get away with that. And finally, I think this is something just personally for me, but whenever a book has something where it's like this person, where it's like they're like the chosen one of something or whatever, it's not that I have a problem with, but I don't know, it's weird. Like, whenever they're all like, oh, it's not me, you must be looking for someone else. Like, I'm just like, why would you say that? Like, I kind of understand if it's like not a particularly good situation they're gonna be involved in, but if you're just like a normal, ordinary person, it's like a good adventure or whatever. I don't know. I just find that weird that they would like say that. I don't know. That's just something for me personally. That's it for this video. What are some of your bookish pet peeves? I would like to know. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!